Hey, yo, bro, I don't listen, man. I'm hoping we good. I'm hoping we good. I don't know. I called Xfinity. They say there ain't no issues. I'm like, yes, there are. But then I looked at my log on here and it was like it was absolutely an issue with my internet. So I'm like, bro, I don't know, man. Listen, somebody sent the snipers out. That's what I feel like. Somebody sent the snipers out and just ended the stream. So, like I said, man, we're gonna try this again. Hopefully, we can make it all the way through. Again, I never really have issues like that. Like we have lags, like little lags, not like completely shut the stream down lags. So I apologize for that. It's literally out of my control. Like I said, man, I'm really sorry. I pride y'all on like having a really good experience while y'all here. So my bad on that. I'm trying to figure it out. If it should happen again, I'm just calling it a quits. And then I got to figure out what's going on with my internet. The crazy part is they sent me an email last week saying, we're going to be in your area on the 13th to fix internet issues. So again, my bad, gang. My bad. We back, crew, with some damn OB hoes, man. Listen, we're going to try to get through it. At least we was at like page 21. We had already made it to like page 21. So hopefully we can make it through the rest of this. Shout out to everybody for pulling up though. Ash, Noah, Blue, Tracy, Michaela, Positive Vibes, Kim, Tasha, Swift, King Hammer in the building. Everybody's here, man. I also made a switch, man, to something in the system. So hopefully that'll catch anything that if it happens again. But y'all know I feel bad because we was having a good stream and then it kind of did like this. So my bad. All right, let me go ahead and get back into reading this, man, because I also had I wanted to finish. I wanted to actually finish it off with this video from Chigs too. So let's go ahead and get right back into where we were, man. Right back where we were. The district court properly considered all statements made during the feud between disc jockeys, regardless of whether they were included in the complaint. Moreover, while plaintiff is correct that the intended audience for the recordings is the general public and not a subset of rap devotees or Kendrick Lamar fans, the recordings in the rap battle were likewise released to the general public. They were not songs accessible to a select niche few, but tracks released by commercially successful artists. While Not Like Us may be the most popular of the diss tracks, the other songs were hits in their own rights, with the streams in the tens of millions or hundreds of millions, which is an absolute fact. All the way through and through, they've been hits, okay? Additionally, it was not just the recordings which gained a cultural ubiquity, but the rap battle itself. In deciding this motion to dismiss, the court need not blind itself to the public attention garnered by this particular rap battle. The court takes judicial notice to the extensive mainstream media reporting that surrounded the release of Not Like Us and the associated feud between Drake and Lamar, which we were heavily a part of. We were heavily a part of that. Y'all already know. Accordingly, the court must consider the entire rap battle to assess whether the average listener would take Lamar's statements as objective fact or opinion. Perhaps most fatally for plaintiff's argument, it would render protection for the artistic expression dependent upon an impermissible retroactive analysis. At the time he released Not Like Us, Kendrick Lamar could not have been aware that it would break streaming records, win Record of the Year at the Grammys, or be featured at the Super Bowl halftime show. Yet plaintiff would have the court divorce the recordings from the context in which it was created because of these subsequent events. So like, how did he know? How did Kendrick know that it was going to do what it did? But because it did what it did, now you want to assume that he knew that it was going to do what it did because of what he said? That's what I call insanity. That's what I call insanity. Let me know if y'all think this appeal is going to work too, man. We actually, we had a poll posted in the last one. Let me know if y'all think the appeal is going to go through. I don't think so, but y'all can let me know. I'm not a lawyer. The appeal will not succeed. Hold on. Let's do this. Will the appeal succeed? You missing the point, crew. Drake saying K-Dot a telepath. Yeah, bro. That's what he's trying to say. He can see the future. You would. There's definitely some. I'm guaranteed there are some Kendrick fans, though. I'm not gonna lie to you that really believe Kendrick can see the future. Like, listen, I'm a Kendrick fan at the end of the day. But come on, dog. Some of y'all be saying some crazies that like they really think he can see the future. Plaintiff counters that even if the recording was protected opinion at the time of its initial publication, UMG's republication of Not Like Us in the months following, after it achieved unprecedented levels of commercial success, exposes it to liability. This argument is logically incoherent. Logically incoherent. If the recording was non-actionable opinion at the time it was initially produced, then its republication would not expose UMG to liability. Now, how? How is it possible that when it was made, it was non-actionable opinion, but then when we republish it, now it's actionable? We got to make it actionable? Dostradamus. He said that boy see the future. Republication cannot transform Lamar's statement of opinion into UMG's statement of fact. Tone and language. That the recording can only reasonably be understood as opinion is reinforced by the language employed in the song. Loose, figurative, or hyperbolic statements, even if deprecating a plaintiff. Imaginative expression. A court may also consider whether the general tenor of the publication negates the impression that challenged statements imply defamatory facts about the plaintiff. In Rappaport, for example, the court concluded that the tone and apparent purpose of the diss track, especially considering its use of hyperbolic and vitriolic words and imagery, further reinforced for the audience that the video is not intended to reflect an accurate factual assessment of Rappaport. So here's the other thing, though. Here's the other thing. Like, are we to assume that the Good Kid, Mad City van was actually Kendrick's Good Kid, Mad City van that they end up towing across the city and then like demolishing? Are we to should we believe that that was real? That was the same van that they used? Should we assume that? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. How does it work for you but not for us? How come we can't assume that that was real? Right? What? The district court faced no difficulty concluding that the context of this diss track video reasonably signals to viewers that the challenged statements are the prejudiced, opinionated viewpoints of the Barstool defendants. The Second Circuit affirmed that the district court's analysis concluded that the nature and tone of the surrounding language and function as a stronger indicator to the reasonable reader that the statement is not expressing or implying any facts. Okay, that's another case they were talking about. Not Like Us is replete with profanity, trash talking, threats of violence, and figurative and hyperbolic language, all of which are indicia of opinion. A reasonable listener would not equate a song that contains lyrics such as "Ain't no law boy, you ball boy, fetch Gatorade" or something. Yeah, I love how they throw bro, ain't no way you thought this was real when there ain't no law boy, you ball boy, go fetch Gatorade or something. Since 2009, I had this bitch jumping with accurate factual reporting, okay? You can't say that. This song has these lyrics in it. How you gonna say it's factual reporting on top of that? Chill out. Accordingly, the reasonable listener of Not Like Us would conclude that Lamar is rapping hyperbolic, vituperations. Yo, they are cooking with the vocabulary. Hold up. What?
Vituperation.
Bitter and abusive language. Vituperation? Oh, I'm using that in a sentence. 1,000% we using that one. We're going to use that one this weekend. We using vituperation this weekend. That's a fact. Yeah, vituperation? We using that this weekend. Hold on, one more time for y'all.
Vituperation.
Yeah, we using that this weekend in a sentence for sure. Plaintiff contends that in determining if the lyrics of Not Like Us express fact or opinion, the court must consider the subjective views of the listener as well as commentators in the rap industry and the press who understood the recording, video, and image as an attempt to convey a precise, factual message of PDF about Drake. The amended complaint cites extensively to comments and posts from YouTube and Instagram. Hey, bro, I know Screw is so happy right now. Like, Screw is going insane. The amended complaint cites extensively to comments and posts from YouTube and Instagram that express the belief that the recording had exposed the truth that Drake was truly engaged in PDF and HHSV against children. Okay? Now, the thing is, I don't think anyone doesn't believe that there's some grooming behavior and things like that that have been done, and that there is probably some truth to what was said. I think, all that Drake has going for him is that he just hasn't been locked up. That's it. So, hey. But distinguishing between fact and opinion is a question of law for the courts to be decided based on what the average person hearing or reading the communication would take it to mean. The dispositive inquiry is whether a reasonable listener could have concluded that the statements were conveying facts about the plaintiff. Courts make that determination by looking at the full context and surrounding circumstances of the challenged communication. The court holds, based upon a full consideration of the context in which Not Like Us was published, that a reasonable listener could not have concluded that Not Like Us was conveying objective facts about Drake. The views expressed by, these users, Kaioken, Mr. Right, and we should look them up, and other YouTube and Instagram commentators quoted in the complaint, do not alter the court's analysis. In a world in which billions of people are active online, support for almost any proposition, no matter how far-fetched, how fantastical, or unreasonable, can be found with little effort in any number of comment sections, chat rooms, and servers. That some readers may infer a defamatory meaning from a statement does not necessarily render the inference reasonable under the circumstances. The artist's 7-track rap battle was a war of words that was subject of substantial media scrutiny and online discourse. Although the accusations that plaintiff is a PDF is certainly a serious one, the broader context of a heated rap battle in which incendiary language and offensive accusations hurled by both participants would not incline the reasonable listener to believe that Not Like Us imparts verifiable facts about the plaintiff. Oh my God. Oh my God. Let's go. Y'all say free speech. What? Come on, bro. Image and video. The extent that the plaintiff alleges that the image and video are independently actionable. The court holds that they too constitute opinion. The image is the album cover art for Not Like Us. It thus shares the same overall context as the recording itself. The image is designed to reinforce the message of the recording. And as the court has already found, that message is protected opinion. So now you can't say that the album art is somehow defamatory when the art itself in the song is opinion. This is just his opinion that he's laying on top of more opinion. Just opinion on top of opinion. There's all these opinions just getting layered on top of each other. Additionally, the image itself, with its overlay of more than a dozen S offender marks, is obviously exaggerated and doctored. No reasonable person would view the image and believe that, in fact, law enforcement had designated 13 residents in Drake's home as S offenders, right? So law enforcement did that. Law enforcement said that. So y'all believe? No, this is just opinion, just opinion. The figurative imagery accompanying the music video also constitutes protected opinion. Plaintiff alleges, for example, that the video depicts a prolonged shot of a live owl in a cage, projecting the message that Drake belongs behind bars. Hey, bro, that is insanity. Now, Drake has literally one-to-one himself with the animal kingdom. He is now officially an owl. He put him in a cage, so now that definitely means that I belong in a cage. An image of a caged owl cannot reasonably understood to convey a factual message. Similarly, depicting Kendrick Lamar playing hopscotch while singing. Yo, this is comedy. This is literal comedy, bro. Similarly, depicting Kendrick Lamar playing hopscotch while singing the A minor lyric is not subjective of objective reporting. Mixed opinion. Although pure opinion cannot constitute actionable defamation, mixed opinion, which is an opinion that implies that it is based upon fact, would justify the opinion, but are unknown to those reading or hearing it, is actionable. Mixed opinion holds the implication that the speaker knows certain facts unknown to his audience, which support his opinion and are detrimental to the person about whom he is speaking. Whether statements constitute mixed opinion presents a legal question, which must be answered by considering in the context of the entire communication and of the circumstances in which they were spoken or written, whether the average listener would reasonably understand the opinion as implying the assertion of undisclosed facts. See, we already kind of had these thoughts. We already knew this. Okay, the people on the outside have already been saying this. This is nothing new. Okay, it's almost echoing. It's almost just echoing what we already knew. Just as the overall context of Not Like Us forecloses the argument that its lyrics can be read as factual assertions, that same context negates any implication that Lamar's lyrics are based upon undisclosed facts. Okay, again, undisclosed, right? This is based on open knowledge. This is all we already know. J-Tom, what up? Holding that, where statements are made in circumstances where an audience may anticipate the use of epithets, fiery rhetoric, or hyperbole, inference could not reasonably be drawn that assertions were based on undisclosed facts. In the context of this rap diss battle, no reasonable person would listen to Not Like Us and assume that Lamar uniquely had access to credible, provable facts that reveal Drake to be a PDF. Plaintiff's arguments that the lyrics to Not Like Us can be read to suggest Lamar's reliance upon undisclosed facts is unavailing. I almost said unaliving, excuse me. Plaintiff first posits that the line, "Say Drake, I hear you like I'm young," indicates that Lamar had heard from outside sources evidence confirming that Drake is a PDF. As discussed, infra, however, that ignores that this line is reasonably understood to be a direct response to Drake's challenge to Lamar in a tailor-made freestyle to talk about Drake liking young girls. It's a response, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I think Koala said it perfectly. They are just draining his pockets because there's no way, with all of the evidence that's out there, the songs are out there, bro. You can't just delete the songs and make it seem like, no, we just don't know this, okay? This lyric clearly prods Lamar to discuss pre-existing rumors about Drake's interest in minors. Lamar's responsive lyrics are thus akin to the accusation of PDF in Terrain that the Second Circuit concluded constituted pure opinion. There, the Second Circuit concluded that a reasonable person would understand based on the context that the defendant disc jockey was using the term PDF in response to directly pertinent comments made by plaintiff during their war of words, and was not relying upon undisclosed facts. Plaintiff's next points to the lyrics. Rabbit hole is still deep. I can go further, I promise. Plaintiff argues that a reasonable listener could view this lyric as suggesting that Lamar has specific evidence to back up his assertions of PDF. It is not at all clear that this is a natural reading of the lyrics, okay? So even so, if there was knowledge outside of this, has it ever been released? Have we ever seen it? Did it ever come about? Why threaten it and not drop it if you had it? Clearly. It's just rap, bro. It's just rap. 117 watch, 123. Yeah, run it up. This is the second stream. I kind of expected that. Everybody hit the stream, hit the like button on the last one, so they probably just assumed that they did it on this one. But if you guys wouldn't mind hitting that like button, I really appreciate it. The footnote says, plaintiff claims that the interpretation is disputed and that the court would require vital witness testimony in order to properly understand this lyric's meanings. Yet at oral argument, plaintiff's counsel could not provide the court with any alternative understanding of this lyric. Furthermore, in the hard part 6, Drake confirms that he understands Lamar to be referring to these pre-existing rumors when Drake rapped, "Only effing with Whitney's, not no Millie Bobby Brown. I'd never look twice at no teenager." To understand the relevant context for these back and forths, The court takes judicial notice of the fact that Millie Bobby Brown is a well-known actress and that she has given interviews stating that she and Drake formed a friendship when she was 14. And he was 32 years old. Millie Bobby Brown is already an icon for this generation. Okay. If this line was susceptible to such an interpretation standing alone, however, no reasonable listener could understand it in this way given the overall context. Indeed, during this rap battle, Drake and Lamar each used similar hyperbolic threatening language. But don't tell no lie about me, and I won't tell truths about you. Your darkest secrets are coming to light. I've been in this industry 12 years. I'm going to tell y'all one little secret. It's some weird shit going on, and some of these artists here to police it. I got your effing lines tapped. I swear that I'm dialed in. What about the bones we dug up in that excavation? This kind of posturing in rap diss tracks does not make such lines more likely to be understood by the ordinary listener to be anything but pure opinion. So again, they just keep saying, they keep acknowledging the fact that he's been doing the same thing. He's saying all of these things that if the other side were to say, oh, that's defamation, or you're claiming to know more than you know, you would think that you would say that it wouldn't be possible for me to sue you over this, right? Second degree harassment. New York does not recognize a civil cause of action for harassment. New York does not recognize a cause of action to recover damages for harassment. With regard to the alleged harassment, New York does not recognize a common law cause of action to recover damages for harassment. Notwithstanding this precedent, plaintiff attempts to bring a claim for harassment under section 240.26 of the New York Penal Code. A person commits harassment in the second degree when they hold the intent to harass, annoy, or alarm another person and engage in a course of conduct or repeatedly commit acts which alarm or seriously annoy such other person would serve no legitimate purpose. Plaintiff alleges that the recording, video, and image individually and collectively provide a call to target Drake, including through violence, and that defendant's course of conduct in publishing specific and unequivocal threats of violence has placed the plaintiff in reasonable fear of physical harm. This state criminal statute does not provide a private right of action. However, accordingly, plaintiff fails to state a claim for harassment. Under New York law, where a penal statute does not expressly confer a private right of action on individuals pursuing civil relief, recovery under such a statute may be had only if a private right of action may fairly be implied. To determine whether a criminal statute gives rise to a private right of action, courts look at these at three factors. One, plaintiff must be one of the class for whose benefit the statute was enacted. Two, recognize of a private right of action must promote the legislative recognition. And three, creation of such a right must be consistent with the legislative scheme. The third factor's bar is high because, as a general rule, when a statute is contained solely within the penal law section, the New York legislature intended it as a police regulation to be enforced only by a court of criminal jurisdiction. Thus, rarely is there a private right of action under a criminal statute. In the absence of any guidance from state courts, federal courts are hesitant to imply private rights of action from state criminal statutes. In Hammer, the New York Court of Appeals concluded that there was no private right of action under animal protection criminal statutes because enforcement authorities lie with police and societies for the prevention of cruelty to animals, and violations are handled in criminal proceedings. In light of this comprehensive statutory enforcement scheme, recognizing a private right of action would be inconsistent with legislative intent. Recognizing a private right of action for criminal nuisance would not be consistent with the existing mechanism for enforcing the statutes. Consistent with this precedent, courts routinely dismiss civil harassment claims as not cognizable under New York law. See this case. Applying hammer to uphold dismissal of harassment claims based on penal law. Oh, there's a bunch of different cases there. All right, what are we saying in the chat, gang? We need Marvin's Room playing in the background. Hey, yo, Deontay, what up? In other words, don't call the courts, call the cops. Don't call us. We can't handle this for you, dog. This is meant for them, not us. All right? We're on page 32. We almost through this. While plaintiff cites cases in which courts have recognized a private right of action for criminal harassment under New York law, most of this authority predates Hammer. As for the two cited cases that postdate Hammer, neither of these cases mention Hammer or engage in the analysis required by the New York Court of Appeals to imply a private right of action from a provision of the penal law. There is nothing to distinguish criminal harassment from the other provisions of New York Criminal Code for which there is no implied private right of action. The New York legislature conferred authority to enforce the criminal harassment statute upon local law enforcement. We have therefore declined to recognize a private right of action in instances where the legislature specifically considered and expressly provided for enforcement mechanisms in the statute itself. There are no indications in the statutory scheme that the legislature intended to confer a civil cause of action for violation of Section 240. Plaintiff's claim for harassment must therefore be dismissed. It must be dismissed. It must. Where we at? Page 33. New York General Business Law, Section 349. Plaintiff's final cause of action brought under Section 349 of New York General Business Law fares no better. Section 349 prohibits deceptive acts of practice in the conduct of any business, trade, or commerce, or in the furnishing of any service. Plaintiff alleges that on information and belief, defendant engaged in deceptive acts and practices in the conduct of business, trade, and commerce by covertly, financially incentivizing third parties, including music platforms and social media influencers, to play, stream, and promote the recording. Bro, I'm telling you, Screw is just so happy for this, bro. Oh my God, yes, we back. Plaintiffs allege that he understands that UMG covertly paid a popular NFR podcast to promote the recording and publish podcast episodes and other content about the recording. On information and belief, plaintiff further claims that UMG uses resources to incentivize third parties to use bots to stream the recording, subsequently extolled the recording's streaming numbers on Spotify while knowing that millions of the streams were false and fraudulent. Hasn't that already been proven? Like that didn't happen? Lastly, the amended complaint alleges that UMG paid at least one radio promoter to engage in pay-for-play arrangements for payola of the recording. Just one. Okay? Just one. Ooh, that's a good question. How much money do you think the Judge Vargas turned down from Drake for a verdict? Oh man, they was probably trying to pay her off for real. Like, please. Allegedly. To successfully state a claim under Section 349, a plaintiff must demonstrate that the defendant's deceptive acts were directed at consumers. The acts are misleading in a material way, and the plaintiff has been injured as a result. Plaintiff asserts that the defendant's deceptive acts and practices were intended to inflate the public views of the recording's popularity and success, which would lead a reasonable consumer of music to be materially misled. Defendants first argues that plaintiff uses an improper pleading device, as his Section 349 allegations all rest upon information and belief and do not go beyond pure conjecture and speculation. Plaintiff counters that applicable standard is plausibility under Ashcroft and Iqbal. Hopefully I said that right. Okay, this is another case. Plaintiff argues that both pacter conditions are satisfied because the amended complaint alleges that UMG made indirect payments to a wide array of unknown third parties and also pleads sufficient factual information concerning UMG's scheme, including examples thereof, contemporary reports, as well as UMG's past practices. At oral argument, plaintiffs stressed that Not Like Us was the fastest song to reach 300 million streams on Spotify within 35 days, which plaintiff argues is a sufficient basis for the court to infer that that defendant implemented a technique to manipulate stream totals, among other unprecedented tactics to reach unprecedented rocketing up the streaming charts. Now, I have a question. Is Iceman dropping? And if it drops, what is it going to drop under? Is Iceman dropping? I seen somebody say it's crazy to sue your boss, lose, and then have to show up to work on Monday. I seen somebody say that. That is crazy. Because I can't imagine that you would want to drop this project. He must have thought he was going to win. Is it going to drop? When is it going to drop? I have no idea. That's my question. Because I feel like being that you have to drop it under he's just going to holler suppression again. Because it's probably not going to do the numbers that he expects it to do. And then he just going to holler suppression. He said it wasn't dropping anymore? No way. He didn't say that. Iceman should stay inside the fridge. The court disagrees. To allege that UMG implemented covert practices to manipulate streams of Not Like Us and inflate the recording's perceived popularity, plaintiff relies on tweets by individual users and reportings from fans to allege that UMG utilized covert tactics to manipulate streams of Not Like Us. The court finds plaintiff's reliance on online comments and reporting insufficient to meet plausible standard. You can't use comments on Twitter and YouTube, bro, and build a case. Stop it. You just can't. Finding that when it comes to particularity and plausibility too, the experience of a no-name person from a small set of anonymous customer reviews does not add much heft to the complaint. Tweets are known as posts on X. X was formerly known as Twitter, where users could post their writings and media as a tweet. Oh my God, they have to explain that. Okay. Does that say Kamehameha? What? Finding a lack of probity from anonymous online comments that invite commentators to make outrageous statements under a veil of secrecy. A small sample of users' possible experience communicated through tweets and other anonymized commentary fails to establish a plausible inference that the UMG manipulated listeners into streaming Not Like Us instead of Drake's music. While these covert practices of providing financial incentives to undisclosed third parties and leveraging of business relationships, if they exist, may be facts that are peculiarly within the possession of the control of UMG's plaintiff's allegations, based on what boils down to unreliable online commentary, do not form a sufficient factual basis such that there is a reasonable expectation that discovery will reveal evidence of illegality. Okay? No matter how much discovery you do, how much digging you do, that's not going to prove anything that was illegal. Okay? Nothing illegal. Ultimately, plaintiff fails to provide any facts or circumstances that would make it highly plausible that UMG conducted such covert business tactics. Even if the courts accepted plaintiff pleadings on information and belief, plaintiff still has not stated a claim for relief under Section 349. Plaintiff has not sufficiently alleged deceptive practices that are consumer-oriented. Under New York law, the term consumer is consistently associated with an individual or natural person who purchases goods, services, or property primarily for personal, family, or household purposes. A defendant engages in consumer-oriented activity if the company's actions cause any consumer injury or harm to public interest. While Section 349 does not preclude an action brought by one's business competitor against another, it is at its core a consumer protection device. The amended complaint does not indicate how any of the deceptive practices allegedly utilized by UMG harmed consumers. For example, the amended complaint does not allege that consumers paid more than they otherwise would have for the product, purchased a product that they otherwise would not have because of misrepresentations regarding the product, or otherwise received less than value for any purchase they did make. Holding that Section 349 is limited to deceptive practices that pertain to an issue that may bear on a consumer's decision to participate in a particular transaction, or which undermine a consumer's ability to evaluate his or her market options to make a free and intelligent choice. Say it again. Wait. A free and intelligent choice. They didn't make you go listen or buy Kendrick's music. They just chose to do it. It is not clear how the alleged redirection of Spotify users who are searching for other unrelated songs and artists to the recording would amount to an actual harm of consumers or any limitations of their choices. At most, the allegations suggest that UMG engaged in practices to make Not Like Us seem more popular than it actually was, without connecting that activity to any consumer harm. Such practices, without more, do not state a claim under Section 349 of the GBL. Conclusion. Defendant's motion to dismiss is granted. The clerk of the court is respectfully directed to terminate ECF, okay? 42, 78, and 81, and to close the case. So ordered, October 9th, Jeanette Vargas. All right. That was that was entertaining. That was so entertaining. But like I said, man, I think what this does is it sets precedent for the future too, right? Sets precedent for the future where now this isn't something that you have to worry about, right? As an artist, you guys, diss records don't have to be under scrutiny for the fear of defamation, right? Like they're not holding a magnifying glass to your lyrics for the fear of defamation. Now you might go to jail for what you say. You talking about, but we ain't look, the defamation, that's not the one. Okay. Mic drop. Huge W. And again, if he was, I'm not sure if he's still planning on trying to leave the label or whatever he's trying to do. But how are you going to drop this album? Shout out to Casey Grimm for the 5. I appreciate you. Also, because he lost, he now has to pay UMG lawyer fees that UMG was billed for. You can't win Michael Jackson the way. What? Also, now you got to pay them fees too? Oh, yeah, he about to get cooked. Them lawyers is expensive. But, okay, so as we move on, right, I guess it seems like he's going to be trying to appeal what happened. He's going to be appealing this decision. Shout out to Chigs, all right, for dropping this video. Let's take a look. Chigs. Let me know if y'all got audio. You know what to do, Chigs.
Salute to Chick Smooth.
Hey, Chick Smooth. Appreciate all the coverage that you've been doing. I've been watching your shit for a while. I just subscribed to your shit too, bro.
First you lose the battle, then you lose the lawsuit. All on your birthday month. Damn, hate to see it. Oh boy, here we go, you guys. Who did not see this one coming? I truly hope nobody out there besides Drake fans are
all that artsy fartsy got you this. Case dismissed. Ayy, what got dismissed? Ayy, all that artsy fartsy got, look, getting mocked.
shocked. Judge Vargas has officially dismissed Drake's defamation lawsuit against UMG over Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us record. That's right, you guys, the case has officially been dismissed. Judge Vargas said, "This case arises from perhaps the most infamous rap battle in the genre's history, the vitriolic war of words that erupted between superstar recording artists Drake and Kendrick Lamar in the spring of 2024. Over the course of 16 days, the two artists released 8 so-called diss tracks with increasingly heated rhetoric, loaded accusations, and violent imagery. The penultimate song of this feud, Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar, dealt the metaphorical killing blow. The song contains lyrics explicitly accusing Drake of being a PDF, set to a catchy beat and propulsive bass line. Not Like Us went on to become a cultural sensation, achieving immense commercial success and critical acclaim. Drake has brought this action against UMG for defamation, harassment in the second degree, and violation of Section 349 of the New York General Business Law.
He said, keep
Before
them
the
lights
court
up.
is
Appreciate you.
defendant's motion to dismiss pursuant to Rule 12
We just read all this.
B6 of Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. Because the court concludes that the allegedly defamatory statements in Not Like Us are non-actionable opinion, Drake, get your bitch ass and your bitch ass lawyers.
Damn, Chigs! That's how you feel? Hold on, one more time.
Non-actionable opinion. Drake, get your bitch ass and your bitch ass lawyers out of my courtroom. The motion to dismiss is granted. Damn, why the judge go so hard on Drake like this? You guys know when I knew this case was pretty much done and Drake was cooked? It was the moment Drake's lawyers started to mention tweets from people on Twitter,
Bro,
social media
everybody knew
content
that.
creators,
Everybody knew
YouTubers,
that.
pretty much reaching and grasping for straws at things that's not there. Anytime you gotta use social media, especially YouTube videos, where people get online and give their own opinion and assessment on things, you do not have a case, buddy. I'm sorry. Drake, people told you for the longest of time, bro, these lawyers you have, they are scamming you. Get rid of them. They know this lawsuit was bullshit from the start, Drake. They all...
He said people told you this whole time your lawyers are scamming you, bro. Get a new legal team. There's no way you don't think they scamming you, bro. You're not gonna win this case. You're not. Get new lawyers.
You get rid of them.
Oh my God.
Bro, these lawyers you have, they are scamming you. Get rid of them. They know this lawsuit was bullshit from the start, Drake. They all got together in their meeting room and had a great 10-minute laugh at this lawsuit. They knew you had no case from the jump. They just wanted your money. And now that you lost this lawsuit, it's even more awkward because you're still signed to UMG.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Like, you still signed. You still signed. You still gotta go to work. You still, hey, I need them. Hey, listen, as a matter of fact, your deadline is up, bro. I need that album. I don't care what shape it's in. I don't care. I need all of it. I don't care if it's finished. Just give us the album. Give us the album. Give us the album, please. All of it. Yes. We putting it out today. I don't care if it's finished.
But now, what's your next move? UMG put out this statement after the judge dismissed the case. They said from the outset, this suit was an affront to all artists and their creative expression and never should have seen the light of day. We're pleased with the court's dismissal and look forward to continuing our work successfully, promoting Drake's music and investing in his career. AKA...
And bro, look, we're pleased with the court's dismissal. Wait. In a statement to Billboard, a spokesman for UMG said, from the outset, this suit was an affront to all artists and their creative expression and never should have seen the light of day. We're pleased with the court's dismissal, and we look forward to continuing our work successfully promoting Drake's music and investing in his career. We still gonna make some bread off, bro. Like, chill. What y'all think this is?
Drake, get your bitch ass in line and go make us some more money. How dare you think you can take us to court? Are you crazy? Especially for some shit that you dared Kendrick Lamar to do. You remember in your Tailor-Made freestyle where you pretended to be too... Post this picture of Drake missed. Joe went on social media to troll Drake. He went on to post this picture of Drake looking fat and disgusting. DJ Mustard also went on Twitter to have a laugh at Drake's expense. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. You have to imagine there's a lot of people that is going to be clowning Drake for this lawsuit being dismissed.
Yo, honestly, he can't drop the album. Honestly, he can't, bro. He can't even drop. Like, you have to wait. He gotta wait a whole another year, bro. Whatever he was thinking about dropping, he got to drop October 2026. He can't drop it this year. He got to wait.
But speaking of Drake, him and his team are not giving up. Surprise, surprise. They said we intend to appeal today's ruling and we look forward to the Court of Appeals reviewing it. Brother, why can't you just take your L in peace and go home? Drop the Iceman album this month, then take a break for the rest of the year, and then maybe by February, March, you come back again with a new record. Nobody believed you when you said this was a fight for every artist that signed to UMG.
That went way out the window. Now, I mean, obviously we expected him to appeal it. He's not going to, I think he's not set to just take the L. He's not set to take the defeat. And that's kind of one of the reasons why we are where we are right now. If he had just taken the L, he could be dropping new music right now and nobody wouldn't even care. But bro has tied this up in litigation. And during that is trying to find his way in music. Like, it's too much happening at the same time, bro. Like, he should have just took the break and then came back.
Everybody knew you were full of shit, and this was only about you.
Put that album on ice.
If you do not want to be called a PDF, do not engage in a rap battle with somebody that's willing to go there. Listen, let me talk to you Drake fans out there. Not the pop Drake fans out there. I'm talking to the hip-hop Drake fans out there. Are you guys
Are there hip-hop Drake fans?
Finally going to admit that this lawsuit was bullshit? Not only was it bullshit, but it was also baseless. Keep in mind, this is a guy that told us that he studies rap battles for a living. You guys were talking all this smack in my comments about Drake taking this to court. The judge is going to rule in Drake's favor. This is going to change rap music forever. I just want to know if you guys are going to keep the same energy. Are you guys going to admit that Drake was actually wrong? It's okay. Let's see how this all plays out. You guys get in the comments below. What do you guys make of the judge dismissing?
That is a great question. I wonder, are the Drake fans going to now admit, yo, that this was ass? But the thing is, I think some people, when it got to this point, did say, all right, bro, that's enough. But then you had people who were still meat munching. It didn't matter. I think it's incredible. I think it's one of the greatest things for hip hop and free speech just in general, man. Like, you know, artists not having to worry about going forward. What can I and can't I say on wax? Because it'll be used against me, or, well, it can be used against you. But we have to worry about defamation, right? Drake, listen, bro, listen. It's over. It's enough. The chapter is closed. Let the book close. Don't try to open up another book. It's over. Just close the chapter. Go on vacation for like a year and just come back and drop music. That's all you can do, bro. If you keep tying this up, you still gonna be in the same spot you was in, bro. I'm tired for you, bro. Okay, I'm tired for you. If I'm tired for you, I know you exhausted, bro. Get some sleep, please. Take a nap. Get some sleep, okay? Do some push-ups. All right, man. Listen, we made it through the stream. Hopefully I figured out whatever the issue was, man. Thank y'all for hanging out with me today. If y'all was in the last stream, I'm gonna try to go back and edit that. I might just let that go because it's just too much to go through all of that. But I appreciate everybody who came back, man. I know we had some issues with the last stream. I love y'all so much. Do me a favor and hit the like button on this one if you guys haven't done it already. If you guys are new to the channel, hit that sub button. We on the way to 50K. Y'all know I'm going to see y'all in the next one. I might be live tomorrow. We'll see. All right? Get Drake the deuces. Yeah, deuces. Everybody play Chris Brown today for Drake. Deuces. I told you that I'm leaving. All right. See y'all in the next one. I'm out. Peace.